Yo, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Greetings from Istanbul, Turkey. It's about 5:40 in the morning right now, and I was woken up violently because of Bitcoin dropping. So here I am, up at 5 in the morning. It's about 5:40 right now here in Istanbul, Turkey. Merhaba, günaydın. I hope you're all doing very well. Time to take a look at the market. The desk that you guys see here right now is unfortunately going to be gone in about 3.5 weeks, moving to the new house. Gonna start packing in a few days. Looking forward to a new adventure. I've had a great one here. Unfortunately, it's time to start a new one. And I hope that you all join me as well when I move to the new house and we make some good profits together. But more importantly, we learn even more. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. This is a long awaited update because it's crucial right now. This is one of the most important moments in Bitcoin history. There's been many other momentous occasions before, but not anything like this because we're now about to embark on a new era and a new trend that could determine what Bitcoin's going to do for the next few months to possibly a year. So let's dive right into this. Before I do, I just wanted to announce that I've got a new promotion coming out for May. It's not out yet right now, but it will be out in about 6 days, when maybe near the end of May sometime, very, very soon. And it's a really epic package. A lot of people have been asking me to create something a lot more affordable for them, so here it is. So this is the May promotional package. You save 55%. What you guys get for $375 instead of $675. A really good deal. So what you're going to get is 6 months of access to my private Discord trading and education group. The second edition course version 2.0 book mailed out to you. A hard copy 250-page book. And you can see the course contents here soon. Or you can just type it in and you can see it. And you're also going to get access to 2 lessons from course version 2.0. What you're going to get is access to 2 lessons from course version 2.0, chapter 3, and also this one here. I gotta change a little bit here. It's not finalized yet. So you're gonna learn a lot about candlestick analysis, time frames, supports, resistances, patterns, moving averages, RSI, MACD, Fib retracement and extensions, Elliott wave theory, and laddering. So you're gonna get 3 of those essential items. It's always good to invest in yourself. Always invest in yourself first. The people that don't and that try to tackle this ahead of time, before for themselves and by themselves, they end up getting overwhelmed by information, and that can lead to actually setting you back even more. So why not learn from 2018's top analyst at bitcoin.com, and also one of the most, if not the most transparent cryptocurrency trader that shows wins and losses. Anyways, I'll tell you guys more about it then. Let's get right into Bitcoin. So right now, we have to take a look at the monthly first, okay? Monthly is showing bearish as fudgesicles, okay? So this looks like it's gonna be the world of hurting. If it ends like this, oh no, is what I can say. Oh no, okay? That is really bearish right now. Even on the other, I'll just show you on another exchange here, like for example, Bitfinex. Same thing, MACD's crossing downwards. RSI is going down. Very, very, very scary. In fact, if you take a look here, you can see the open and the close, and the lows around 37 here. Like this could easily start capitulating. So we see it on the weekly with more visibility and more detail. We see that yesterday the week just closed with this doji type candle at the bottom. Not the best candle. It's better when this shows more like a rejection wick going up to the 55 EMA than anything. If we got a dragonfly doji where the wick shot to the downside, that would be better. You want candles like this, like that. You want candles like that, like this. This one here was all right, but we already got the rejection first of all. The weekly really tried to break up for the past month in March, actually middle of March to middle of April, but failed miserably. So now we're left with this right here, where there's a high possibility of it breaking to the downside, unfortunately now. So, but if we do bounce, there could be a critical bounce that can lead to a long-term bull rally. And if this rally ends up beginning, we could easily start to hit 85K ranges, higher than that, because then this channel will have been extended massively like that. We could hit like 80K, like 75K, 85K, those kind of ranges. But right now, as it stands, the weekly is just showing lots of massive signs of a potential breakdown. So this is getting scary. But one thing I do want to point out is that there could be a possible sometime like in here. Is that a 5 wave? Let me just double check this, okay? This can't be a 5 wave. Yeah, this could be a 5 wave. It could be because, well, if we go out a little bit, we can see that this right here is a 1. That's a 2. All of this in here somewhere is a 3. See what I mean? All this could be 3. That's 4, and that's basically 5. Okay? The wave 4 is smaller than wave 3, so that's accepted. Right now, we're only seeing, like, this could maybe be it. I couldn't even give a possible Elliott wave count. This is too choppy right here. But if we take a look on, for example, the 2-day, we're seeing it really shoot down right now. We look at it on the daily, shooting down. 12-hour, down. 6-hour, down. 4-hour, down. 1 hour, down. 30-minute, down. 15-minute, recovering. Okay, it's recovering. So what I'm getting to is that because we're at the support of this channel that's been now forming for literally about 420 days. Has it been 420 days? Really? That's a long time. So it has been forming for 420 days now. Around there. So right here, we're seeing on the low time frames with the possibility of it getting bullish. If it does start to get bullish on the lower time frames, then there's a possibility that it will cascade over to the higher time frames. And if that ends up happening, we can get a major bounce here at this specific key level. So right now, everybody's on edge. Everybody's waiting. Everybody's trying to figure out what is going on here, trying to see if there's a possible move that we can lock in. Is there going to be a big short opportunity? Right? Everybody's wondering that as well. Is there going to be a long opportunity for a bounce? And the answer is we simply don't know. So because we don't know right now, and all the indicators are pointing to the downside, we could still get a sharp correction to the upside. That can still absolutely happen. So let's talk about some strategies that we can use instead, okay? So some strategies we can use instead is this, okay? Let me just give you a really good example. We have a channel that's forming, okay? This is clearly the channel that's forming, whoops. Like that, right? We got a channel forming like that. And now what ends up happening is this ends up moving in the channel, okay? It moves whatever, like, well, not whatever, but sorry. We got a bounce there before. We went back up there, and now we're coming back down, right? That's pretty much what Bitcoin is doing right now, okay? Bitcoin hit it one time at the top, came back down, hit it again, came down, hit it again, right? And then now it's fluctuating here, okay? So what I would recommend doing, this is one of the basic strategies. It's not financial advice, but this is what I would recommend doing. I would wait for one of two scenarios. One scenario is we break down, and that's fine. Entering at the actual break, it's up to you. You can risk entering if you want to, and let's talk about two different ways, right? There's two scenarios for each way. The first scenario is bouncing, and the second scenario is dropping. But for the drop, there's two ways you can play it. And for the rally, if it bounces, there's also two ways you can play it. Let's go with the drop first of all. The drop is you short it right there, and you assume the risk. Okay? You assume the risk of what happens, but if you do that, the best thing I can suggest is you place your stop loss, okay? You place your stop loss. If it starts to drop to the downside, the best place to place your stop loss is to have a trailing stop, okay? You entered right here, okay, and you're going for whatever target. The best thing to do is to have a trailing stop. If the price continues to go down, have your trailing stop to break even, okay? That's really important to have your trailing stop to break even. And the reason for that is because, or slightly above it actually. The reason for this is because you're allowing room for it to actually get back in, okay, and to get rejected. So one of three things can actually happen. Okay, one of three things that can happen is the price can continue to go down and it just drops and it never gets a retest. The second thing that can happen is it comes down, and that would be the best scenario, by the way, scenario one. The best second thing that can happen is it can do this, okay, and retest it, and then it can go down. So because you allowed yourself a stop loss back into the channel slightly, you're giving it tolerance. You're allocating a specific amount of risk and a tolerable amount to let the trade come to fruition. So if this ends up happening, you're gonna benefit both scenarios, right? If it bounces off of there and comes back down, you're gonna be in the win as well. So the first scenario is you enter in the short, right? And then it just keeps going down. It keeps going down. You win this scenario, great. Second scenario is it comes down and then it hits up here and it rejects going back up, then comes back down. You also win because you're allocating your stop loss at a tolerable amount, right? You're allocating a certain amount of risk to let the trade happen. And the third thing that can happen is, of course, what we don't want to happen, where it comes down, right? And it comes down, it bounces back up here, and it goes actually back in, like it did way back over there, unfortunately. So those are three scenarios that can happen. That's what happens if you enter here, all right? So then the second thing is you don't actually enter here. You let the trade come down, you let it bounce back up to retest it, and upon seeing rejection, whether it's here, okay, whether it comes down and it goes only up to here, or whether it's right there and it retests, you have an opportunity to enter on a retest where it can now drop down. So that's the more confirmation way. But if you choose that specific scenario, what happens is you don't actually, you might not actually get a retest, okay? If you wait for a retest, the retest might not happen. Because in the first scenario where you enter in the break and it keeps going, right? That could happen. If that happens, you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to enter at all. So that's the way that I would recommend in general to look at short positions for this setup. The second thing is it bounces, right? So you can do one of two things, just like on the short. You can enter on the short here or the long there, but you must allocate risk. You must allocate a certain amount, okay, that you're willing to lose. I would recommend having a trailing stop, which means that as it goes up, right, as it goes up, you change your stop, you raise your stop there basically, okay? You raise your stop. So originally your stop could have been lower than here, but as the price goes up, if it bounces, you keep raising your stop, right? But then you can take your profit if you want. You can take your profit if it starts to begin to dip. You can, right? You can, so as the price goes up, you also raise your stop or your take profit. This way you guarantee that you lock yourself in some profit. That's really important. Another thing you can do is you can set your stop really low in case it retests it. And then if it retests it, right? If it doesn't retest, great. You're in a rally and you win. If it does retest here, but it never breaks through down the channel again, and then you still have your stop loss down here, well, you now prevented yourself from stopping yourself out, and you allocated enough room for the trade to come to fruition, so you're going to win that trade, okay? And now the third scenario is, of course, it goes upwards, and then it just comes down again, just like the short position, and you get stopped out here, which we don't want. The next thing you can do is you let it rally first, where it's now confirming a trend, bounces back down to the downside, right? And then you're entering upon a perhaps a support, or entering on a break. On a break as it goes back to the upside, okay? You're entering it right there. So those are some of the scenarios that you can play out, just to be very, very specific. This is what I recommend for people to consider. Don't take it as financial advice though, okay guys? Like just see it as just a guy trying to talk about his own position and trying to give you advice on some of the best setups that you can take and how to play these types of trades. All right. So that's really important to consider. As for right now, I don't know what Bitcoin's going to do. No one knows what Bitcoin's going to do. Okay. But what I am going to do is use my new indicator. That's going to allow me to look for specific buys and sells where the momentum has changed based on mathematical calculations that this indicator performs. This indicator is called the Chandelier exit indicator. Okay, I'm not going to repeat that again. A lot of people keep asking me, what is it? What is it? I'm using the Chandelier exit indicator, but like any other indicator, they're useless if you don't know how to use it combined with other indicators as well. So using any indicator by itself, it's useless. You got to combine it with other confluent factors so you know what's going on. All right? So really important to know. This Chandelier indicator uses just a bunch of math to tell me on different time frames when the trend possibly changes. So you can't use it by itself. You got to use it on the, like for example, I'll look at waves here on a 4-hour time frame. Gave me a sell signal here, right? Never look back. That sell signal gave us 70% profit here. That's crazy. So now if you see a buy signal again, you might want to consider going long, but it must of course be confluent. I'm looking at waves, by the way. Waves hit this lower trend line here already, but it fell through. So now where the fuck is it gonna go? All the coins are looking very bearish on basically every screener right now. Waves is probably my top coin to be looking at because there's a high probability of this really bouncing to the top side. I like the way Waves is looking in general. I like this. Okay, this looks really good to me. Just the way, like, it looks like it wants to drop to 16.1 or something like that. Of course, on a higher time frame, it could look entirely different, right? It can curve up more. We might even be there already. Who knows? Like, let's say we go to daily. It looks like we could be there already, right? Like, so it's really subjective how you're drawing this, to be quite honest. It really depends on many things, but I think that Waves is going to be one of the top coins. I'll show you why as well. So Waves, if you sort it by the 4-hour, you see that it's really low on our side across the board. On the 4-hour, the 30-minute, the 15, and the daily, it's actually one of the top lowest RSI coins in general combined. It's the third lowest for daily. It's the lowest for the 4-hour as well, actually. And it's also moved the biggest amount to the downside. Therefore, I'm interested in this coin more than any other coin right now. So I hope you've enjoyed this video of mine, giving you some really awesome tips. If you're interested in this package of mine for $375, that gets you 6-month access to my private Discord trading and education group, the second edition course version 2.0 book mailed out to you, and also access to 2 lessons of mine. Just send me a DM if you're curious about it. I'll give you more information and we'll go from there. Bye now. Have a great day.